Welcome to our sixth episode of Good Times, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever it is. It's we have a bi-weekly series going on. This podcast. It's been going on for more than 3 years. Now this is just in the rotation for it. This show is kind of one to help make that next adventure to Japan even better. But this particular segment is a chance to catch up with each other, past guests, and talk about really anything related to Japan. So go ahead, pull up a bar stool and join David, Joel, and myself in Good Times. Open this time to being sponsored by Bella Vey Sparkling Water, as we have yet to hear back from those other sparkling water companies yet. Oh, yeah, this is definitely so much better. So reach out, Belleve, and we'll take your sponsorship monies. Joel, we can try to include you in this as too. We're trying to get airfare back to Japan as basically where we're looking to get sponsored for. So this series of shows, like I said, is a chance to get caught back up. And Joel, in his Moonlighter Club podcast, really has impacted me and continues to do so. It's one of few podcasts that I actually continue to listen to, even when things get hectic, because Joel's show, as of late, has been focusing on balancing life, work, mental health, and kind of reconnecting with his guests as well. And I really feel that what he's talking about, even though it's not necessarily Japan centered, could really make a difference just in your day to day life and that next trip to Japan. Because if we all go in with the right mindset and we're taking care of ourselves, we're just going to enjoy that trip even better. So, with that in mind, let's start today's episode. Now, if you're listening on podcast land, there is a video version of this show as well. So go with whatever works best for you. I will include links to the video in our show notes. And if you follow us on Patreon, even if it's the free version, you can see both versions by going to one place. Thank you for those that choose to donate. It is greatly appreciated. Um, Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. We've talked before. I've been on Joel's show, David. Joel has been on my show. And whenever we get together, we enjoy ourselves, kind of talking about Japan and just our regular jobs and kind of remaining creative or trying to remain creative with everything that goes on in our lives. Joel, how's things going for you, my man?
Going all right. First of all, what's up, David? Man, how's it going?
Oh, yeah, nice, Joe. Nice to meet you. I'm well, thank you.
Doing all right. Yeah. So, it's been a while. We've been in DC. Actually, we are. So, the Moonlighters Club, we showcase anyone who's an entrepreneur and also an employee. And the whole concept of moonlighting is I'm not at work. I'm trying to do this other thing so I don't have to work, or just to give me something fun to do outside of work. This past year has been hectic. I have my daughter turns 2 tomorrow, so tantrum town. But I've been looking for venues actually. So we've interviewed a bunch of people. We're getting ready to release a new crop of moonlighters that go all the way from Richmond, Virginia to Philly to Baltimore, DC. And then we're going to do live shows in DC. We found an art gallery that I speak with on Monday. And the goal is it's going to be networking events that are always happening, but also showcases, people getting up saying, hey, from 9 to 5, I work and I'm in DC. So you're meeting people who work at NASA or who work at like something crazy. And then they leave work and they're like brewing beer, or comedians or building tech companies. So, big stuff's coming in the next couple of months. Just was looking for a venue that we could just go back to repeatedly. But other than that, good, man. Fatherhood is very tiring. Yeah. Oh my God. But other than that, life is good. No complaints. Steelers have been winning. So other than that, I'm pretty happy.
Hey, and with the quarterback controversy starting your season off, and Chicago's trying to help you out, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Fields is looking okay so far. Not terrible. So, also the Bears, I have high hopes for the Bears. I want to see if they can level out this year with Caleb. So
that'd be great meet in the playoffs, buddy.
Yeah,
that would be
that'd
awesome.
be awesome.
Time had. Hey, David, my friend. I know. I'm glad to have you back on this episode. How is life treating you right now, my man?
I would say life is pretty much on the high end of where it could be, really, if you ask me. So pretty much we moved into a new house about a little over a month ago. So I have my own space. I'm pretty much currently sitting in the game/studio. So it's amazing, if you ask me. So that part of my life is just really nice. Also fixed my car, my pride and joy. So that's all done and dusted too. And also too got pretty huge news. So I booked my ticket for Japan for this Christmas. So
outstanding, my man, outstanding. Buddy, that's a great present, for yourself.
It's. Yeah, cause I've been talking about it for a while now. Like, we really couldn't find a date that was going to fit in with like moving, like buying a house. And just had a lot of like even moving, like changing jobs. That was a big one. I've already been there for just under a year now, but just had a lot of moving parts that weren't really guaranteeing like a good spot to go to Japan. And we finally decided to go there in Christmas. So the dates would be the 20th of December to the 5th of Jan.
Man, I'm happy for you. Joel, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since David's been in Japan. Like, how long's it been right now?
Since July 2019. So I've been itching to get back. So I've been doing everything by going to Japan. So like I've been going to the little Asian groceries, just getting my fix of snacks from there too, because we've got this really good one in the city that has a lot of Japanese just bits and pieces there. So it's really nice. But I've even been playing the online claw machines, the ones that can play from Tokyo. So
yeah,
just been doing bits and pieces, so just trying to get my fix in. But now the reality is that I'm going for Christmas, so and that should be interesting too, if you ask me. So we're actually looking really forward to that because we have a summer Christmas here. So I've only experienced snow and Christmas once, so it would be nice to kind of have that for this Christmas. So
I'm so happy for you, my friend. That's awesome, because that's like I know it's been a goal of yours for time, and I know you were looking to back when you switched jobs. So now having that happen, and Joel, I can't wait to have you on, my friend. I said, because that's one thing I'd love to travel with all you guys. I'd love to have it be like just some fantastic back to Japan adventure where it's like Maurice, David, Joel, myself, some other, it's like just go through and have, a good old time had by all. But yeah, that's all outstanding, man. And is it your girlfriend's like her first time of going, or?
No, it's her second time.
Okay.
So originally, like our holiday in July 2019, she was there with me. So
okay,
she got to experience the first taste of Japan too. So this one originally I was meant to go on a trip by myself, but I didn't want to do that at Christmas. So that would have been a little bit awkward. But and then plus, I'm going to be doing a solo trip most probably July in 2025. So yeah.
do you have any? I know you're open for input and things like that, but do you have anything that's kind of like that top of the list stuff that you want to be able to I don't know, just hit up for first time? Because I mean, like is there a city location that's just I have to go to?
Well, the good thing is, like, I think we talked about in the last episode was going to Sapporo. That
Yeah.
was, I think that's going to be the main destination there. Like, we're going to start off obviously in Tokyo. We were trying to find it if landing in Osaka or in Tokyo was going to be better for the flights. Still expensive, if you ask me, but uh, totally worth it. So, but yeah, so we're going to pretty much just go through the north and just end up in Sapporo. So
Awesome, all right. Awesome.
yeah.
So,
And also to KFC for Christmas. But
yeah.
sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
So try to organize one of the buckets, the real famous ones. So we'll see how it all goes. But so yeah, the trip is being kind of planned as we speak. Plane tickets booked. Now we're just trying to find out exactly what we want to do. Also, see the my partner would love to see the snow monkeys in Nagano.
Yeah.
So that's her number one thing she wants to see.
Outstanding, man. So you guys enjoy it. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing back about it, and we'll definitely go through. I've been looking through myself because I know my son takes off here in just a few weeks. He's going to be gone for 6 weeks. I'm excited for him to have that chance.
Amazing.
To be off on his own for 6 weeks and have that adventure. Proud of him, I won't say as a parent that you're not somewhat concerned, but he's got a good head on his shoulders, and I'm sure this is going to be just an unbelievable experience. He's actually going to be meeting up with some friends. One of his friends is in a band, and they're actually going to be touring in Japan.
Wow!
And then another one of his friends is doing jet. So he's going to have those 3 of them together, in Tokyo hanging out. I'm like, come on, that may never happen again, but what a way to spend, your young adulthood, hanging out with your friends doing that stuff. So that's awesome. So
yeah, that's one thing. Sorry.
No, go on, buddy.
Yeah, that was one thing that I would have liked to do in my early 20s. Would have been definitely travel with Japan sooner. So that's pretty much.
Well, I have one of the things that I like doing my day trip research things is you find stuff that you wouldn't normally expect. And I have a day trip episode that I'm going to be recording pretty soon on Kusatsu, and it's a day trip, easy day trip from Tokyo. It's going to come out 2 weeks after this episode drops. But I'm going to screen share right now one of the places I found because, you can be very Japanese in what you're looking to do. But I also like just finding things, especially if you're gone for any length of time. I found a Lucky Bagel Shop in the middle of out in there, day trip away from Tokyo, and I was just kind of blown away from a standpoint of this is great, not things you would expect to find in Japan, but they have a bunch of sandwiches, deals, drinks and things that are here, and whenever I can find something that when you're gone for a while, that might give you that sense of being a little closer to home than you actually are. But yeah, a sandwich on a bagel, put me down for it. Yeah. And
good.
Yeah, it's and if you go there, one of the things my son and I want to do next, Joel, and is that we want to have Mexican in Japan. So have some tacos and,
Nice.
and a drink and things like that. So we're kind of, we've scouted some places where we can find a place, just to have that. But come on, it's cool stuff. So, but I liked, kind of finding those different things that you have. But I'll talk more about that around that point in time. But no, I also wanted to give a chance, David, and Joel, just a little bit of yourselves. Basically, one other thing I want to say before I get off the Lucky Bagel is just I've been searching air flight, cost as they were further out and getting up. And flights dropped to like around $1,000 at one point, and then it seems the closer it gets out to the time frame I was looking for, that prices just keep on going back up. And that flight that was like $1,000 at one point is now like $2,300 and kind of just hovering around 2,000. And I'm just going to kind of keep on checking it as it gets closer to that time and see if it drops again. Kind of like I don't know, just like an experiment of my own of like what's going on with these prices.
Yeah.
But I'll update, as they go through. But man, you can't go far enough out to track your flight. And if you get something that looks good to you, just go ahead and go with it. But Joel, one of the things David likes to do is tell us how we can get rich off of the One Piece card game and the tournaments that he goes to, competitively flexing, his cards that he has. Is there anything that you've been able to add, David, to that collection that might be that piece card or something that maybe pays for your trip at one point in time? Maybe it's paying part of this Christmas one. I don't know.
Well, I haven't got it yet. Well, that's the thing. But I'm pretty much working my way trying to get it. So that is the Super Release winner Luffy card that you would have gotten if you won a tournament when, like, the very first tournaments they released, like pre-release event tournaments. So that one, it's classed as one of the grails, but it's one of the, like, obviously you got like serialized cards that would go for like easily 10,000 plus. But this particular one is more attainable. It's about like $2,000. So, and I got a couple friends who I go to the local store tournaments with, and they have some. So, and I'm trying to get my hands on one of them, and one of them is happy to let go, but I have to first have to sort out everything with the Japan trip first, and I know how much money I can spend on extra things. So, but that one there, I'm trying to get.
Yeah, we had this whole episode where we were just opening up packs of One Piece cards, trying to see if we got one that would help pay for our next trip. We didn't quite get to that point, but it's always, it's a goal. It's got to have something to strive for.
One Piece is there's two animes. It's probably three: Bleach, Gintama, and One Piece, or One Piece and Gintama more so. The two, I'm one day just gonna be like, I'm not doing anything else. I'm just gonna watch this from episode 1 all the way. The issue with all of that is Gintama, I got to like 40 episodes. I was binging like crazy, but so many animes come out that I enjoy that I keep stopping. Same with One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
One day I'm just going to say I'm not watching anything else. I'm just going to watch One Piece, and it's going to take me months, and which is great. Like I've watched a lot of shows, like Breaking Bad. The first episode I saw was the end. Then I'm like, all right, I'll start over, and I started over and watched it. So One Piece, I'm just going to we're doing this. We're just doing this from the very beginning, and we're going to watch every single episode.
You're going to have to let me know when you go for that, Joel, because I'm in the same boat with you. I've not seen any of it, and it's kind of the same thing as like, at some point in time, I need to fix that.
I got to do them all.
I think, sorry, you guys are in luck too, by the way. So I'm pretty sure down the pipelines, they're going to be working on a more condensed version of One Piece.
Okay.
So kind of like what they've done with the Full Alchemist.
Yeah.
And they did the Brotherhood. So they're just pretty much taken the whole thing and condensed it down in a more like modern style of animation. But
all right.
Yeah, so that should be more doable than I think 100 and something. 1,000 and.
Yeah, it's some thousands.
So yeah, it'll be crazy. So, but yeah, that might be the way to go. I'll be definitely doing that one. So,
yeah, just sleeping, while it's on, does that count?
Yeah.
Like
I think so. It definitely does. You do retain something from.
I did that. This is unrelated, but I did that with The Simpsons recently. I've seen every episode already, but I didn't know if I'd seen every episode, so I just started over and watched every single episode again. It's much less, but still, I'm like, all right, now I've got every single one under my belt.
That's pretty cool. I can respect that.
Yeah, we quote that all the time. It's like my daughter and I, we've been on this kick of like watching horror movies. We're doing the original Salem's Lot because
Yeah, oh yeah,
Max has a new one that just came out
yeah.
on it. So I'm like, we need to watch the original before we, go see, the new one to see if there's anything there. I just forgot it was 3 hours. So we made it about like halfway through and I'm like, okay, this is a good time to take a break.
Yeah.
Joel, I know we've talked before about this, but I'd love for you to share some of your favorite things that you have just with Japan and kind of like what are the things that you want to do when you finally make that trip happen?
So I think it's going to be next year, 2025. David, I was going to go in 2020 because I didn't know this thing named COVID was coming. Me and my friend we had already said it. We'd already had it set. And 2020, I moved to DC. We get through COVID. And I feel like I've done other trips since then. Yeah, but I feel like the big one I did was last year. I went to Oslo, Stockholm, and Copenhagen. And that I was going to do Japan then, but I'm like, it was my 40th. I want people to come. Scandinavia is probably going to be easier for them and me. They speak English, So if I do Japan, it's going to be 2 weeks next year. When? 2 weeks. Yeah. I want to spend a lot of time in Tokyo. I am weird. I grew up on the East Coast. I love big cities. So any place I go to, I just want to find the biggest metropolitan area you have, and I just want to kind of get lost in it. Food is essential. People, though, kind of like people watch food. Retail. What do people buy? What do people wear? Where do they shop?
It's amazing, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then a lot of fashion I like comes from Tokyo. But then craft beer. I'm a big on like any kind of craft beer scene or unique bar setting where people hang out and you can kind of meet the people who live there. Like one thing, Mike, you know all about this. One thing I loved about Chicago was that Chicago, you can go to a neighborhood and there's a block of houses, and the last house on the block on the corner will be a bar, but it looks like a house, literally.
Yep.
But then you go in there, and it's like everyone who knows everyone, and it's a very communal place. People hang out. It's the same. It's just really, really warm. So that it'd be like that for me. Like I do feel like there are monuments you have to see, but it's also like where do people go to hang out? What do people do here to unwind? Where are those places? And then if I have time, all that, if I do some of that, there's a train you both probably know about that goes up and down Japan. It's a scenic train route.
Yep.
His name I can't remember, but people book tickets on it. Goes to different major cities in Japan. It takes stops and kind of go from there. But that would be next.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All I know is like once you go, buddy, you're gonna be planning that trip back. That's just like it's like it's the one thing for sure. I said that it's for sure. But I could see someone easily. I mean, you could spend 2 weeks alone just in Tokyo and you're not gonna see everything, but you can take a good first bite of things. That'd be awesome, man. That'd be real good.
Yeah, I think I told you that. I didn't, Mike. I think I told you this. So, David, we went to Vietnam. My wife and I for our honeymoon, right? Mm-hmm. So we had to connect in Japan.
Yep.
And we connect. We are on Japan Airlines, and by the way, I gotta get back on Japan Airlines. If it kills me, I don't care. But we connect. We go to Vietnam. On the way back, we realized we had to switch airports. We had to Narita and Haneda. We had to go from one to the other. So we're freaking out in like the span of hours. There's nothing we could do. So I'm like, all right, I'm researching. I'm like, all right, there's a bus. We're in Vietnam. Like, oh, there's a bus that takes you from one airport to the other. I'm just going to book the ticket. We'll figure it out. We get on the plane to go to Haneda, I think. And while before we land, one of the flight attendants is like, yo, you're Joel. That's Shanae. You're going to a different airport. I'm going to show you where you go. Did you already buy the ticket? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, okay, because I would have bought it if you didn't have it. This is where you meet me after the plane. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, because we'd been in Vietnam for like, excuse my language. We've been in Vietnam for 10 days. If Vietnam was cool, but it's not the same. The hospitality is not the same. So they're like, I'm like, we get off the plane. They're like, okay, you come with us. They walk us to the bus. They're like, "You just get everything you need." They take us through customs. I'm like, this is ridiculous. They get us on the bus. We get on the bus, get off. They're like, "Joel, should they come here?" I'm like, "We should have been here for 10 days." So they're talking. So the whole time I'm like, I'm coming back. Like I gotta. And it was that level of like hospitality and efficiency. And I'm like, bro, what am I doing? Like I gotta come back here. So that's, yeah, it's gonna happen. Next year it's happening.
Well, it's pretty cool that you've technically been on the grounds. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
So, yeah, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of you two's travels. I'm next year is going to happen. It's going to happen.
So,
I love it, my friend.
When exactly, well, if you could choose, when would you go next year?
I think it'd be later towards the end of the year.
Mhm.
I've been told that like summers, everyone does summers, but they're like, nah, man, it's just going to be really hot. Like it is what it is. But like fall's really nice down there.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Gorgeous.
okay, I can do a September, October, and
Yeah,
have a
nice.
good. So yeah, it'd be like that. End of the year next year.
No, very nice. I don't mind stinking hot summer, so let's see how it goes.
I know. I was looking because when my son's going to be there, he's going to be there when all the leaves are changing, and that's still like one of my favorite memories ever. Is just being in Kyoto when the leaves hit their max, and it was just like everywhere you looked was just every color, and it was like not a religious person, but it was a very spiritual experience, like being there at that point in a place that's thousands of years old as opposed to 100 or whatever that you could come across here. So it was huge, just to be able to experience that. So Joel, that's a great return, great way to go about doing things. What did you have as far as like just some connection to Japan, growing up, my friend? Was it just anime off the bat, or was it you have other things that kind of connected with you?
It's a variety of things. Anime's one. It's funny. It was Japan and Australia. So
No,
There you go, David.
Ever since I was a kid, I was like, I gotta get like I wanted to be a zoologist. So like Australia wildlife. But like even the people I've met always been cool. So that's one. And then for Japan, it was I'd say anime, fashion, but also history. So like learning, especially coming from the U.S., you learn about World War II, the atom bomb, but then how redevelopment in Japan just like went crazy. So every time you'd hear about something in the US, like train travel in the 90s, something we do normally, they're like, oh yeah, they're like 30 years ahead of us there. So you're like, what? So you're hearing about like, and Mike, you could probably we agree. Like every time we'd hear about some technology in the US, they're like, they have like,
don't worry about it.
They have like, that's like, they're so far past you guys in Japan. So I'm like, I got to see what this is like. And everyone is like, yeah, there's certain aspects of it. Just like bullet trains. It could be as simple as bullet trains. There's certain things like that. You're like, I have to see if this is a real thing because of what I heard. And they're like, and it's been like that for at least 25 years for me, where I'm like, it just seems like this country is really like when it wants to be super cutting edge.
That's like you can get that tale of two cities. Yeah. As David was talking about, like same thing. Maurice was talking about with like the One Piece cards. Before they came out here, he was there. They're here, and I'm like, man, he could have came back with a bunch of stuff. It's like, but I love it. No, I'm glad that my son is falling in love with his Diaz, and my daughter Joel. We're just beginning to talk. They're going to be turning 17 at the beginning of the year. And that's crazy to think that I've got, a soon to be 23-year-old this month, and I have a soon to be 17-year-old. And I told my daughter already, I go, your Christmas gift this year is already decided. It's going to be a travel backpack, and they're like around $300. And I go, that's pretty much going to be it, honey. I go, but it's going to be important. This is like the first big thing towards our trip of you and I being able to go there. And they've already begun picking out like places they want to go to, cat resorts, cat cafe, but not just a cat cafe where you go and they're there, but like there's an island that I found some people that I kind of interviewed as well. They run a resort. So one of the few that are there, and there's another island next to it that there happen to be some cats that come by, while you're eating at the different places you are. And so, yeah, we're beginning to plan that trip, and I will be very happy to bring them to REI, get them fitted, find something that's going to work with them for when we do our trip, and then begin to start, setting aside that money and time so that we can share that same thing together. So I can't wait. Can't wait. Well, gentlemen, we have the, very important part of our segment as well, which is where we dive into Sora News 24. And I'm going to get us started here with one of my favorite things in the world, and that is Kit Kats. But this, my friends, is deep fried. And my favorite Kit Kat, Joel, is matcha, the green tea ones. So they have deep fried matcha green tea and strawberry Kit Kats on a stick coming to Japan. I mean, so many things on a stick are better. It's like, but just looking at the kushi katsu, the cutlet on a skewer. On the other hand, like I say, they could be the Kit Kat.
Nice.
Just have some pictures and things. Last year they offered it for the first time, and it's Kito Kato, Kito Katsu. Man, I would be so down to try this, especially like the pricing of 240 yen. You can't beat that. $1.30, 180 yen. Here's the strawberry ones. They have all these different things, but it says that they're going to be around until January 31st. So you better believe that I will be looking out to try to find these if they are around when I am able to make it here at the beginning of the year or end of this year. So that is my first, opening thing that I have for us is just our, why not start us off with a Kit Kat? It's like you can't.
If I'm there and I find them, I'll get a couple just in case I send them over.
Sounds good, buddy. I appreciate that. And I have one from Joel and Dave. David, if you want to if you find one, message me just in Instagram, and I will.
I just opened it up, and there was the Street Fighter sushi bento box. That caught my eye. I was like, and that was 11 hours ago, so you might find that straight away.
Okay. Let me
cool.
pull it.
But
let me pull it up here. Let's see.
I'm still scrolling to see.
Okay.
I want to see something really cool.
I'm going to get Joel here real quick and see. We have share. Pull up Japanese woman subdues convenience store thief with a headlock. Credits anime for technique. Joel, this is yeah, buddy.
That's hilarious. It's pretty hilarious. That's pretty hilarious. Grappling session that ends with bite marks.
Come on, man. That's like credits anime. That's just
awesome.
Tokyo. So it says while Rio was at the store, a man attempted a shoplift, a 6-pack of beer. When he attempted to flee, the clerk confronted him with a tube becoming entangled near the store's exit. Rio stepped in and ensnared the man's legs, brought him to the ground, and put him in a headlock. Oh wow, man! This is like attempted to flee by biting her, which still has some visible teeth marks that are there, but was able to subdue him until the cops ended up arriving. I've never done martial arts. I just took tea ceremony lessons, but I like anime, so I just sort of imitated what I've seen in it. Come on, nice. Man. Anime bringing the world together. I love it.
Nice.
David here, let me pull up if I can just click to start. I'm going to go back just to where it's just the Sora News start. And which one were you, the Super or Street Fighter sushi bento box? There we go.
That's the one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's pull this up here.
What did it get?
I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna get that one in our document as well here. And I like the Street Fighter sushi bento boxes are here, so you won't have to fight on an empty stomach.
How cool is that? Yeah, just looking through the pictures there, like what they have here, that's pretty cool. I think I might grab one of these when I'm there too. So let's have a look.
Like just taking the box home with you afterwards. I mean, that looks like that would fit a sandwich at least.
Or maybe
like those. Maybe two. Look at that, man. This is great. This is just. Oh, they have different. Oh, the Chun Li too. Oh man, dude, that's David. Yeah, it's like a.
They have at least like 6 designs. That's pretty cool. So,
love it, love it.
yeah, there's
And
not much to it, but it's pretty cool. I reckon I'll grab one of them when I'm there. So, if I can find it.
I like it, my friend. I've got another one. There is actually a. So they're targeting us foreigners,
God.
David, with one here. It's going to be, and this is, I think, some a good thing, though. This is a good thing, except for the fact is it's Starbucks Japan is going to release a new matcha latte with a reusable cup, kind of targeted towards us, the tourist market. But it is would really make a great souvenir, but it's not something that you're going to actually find at the Starbucks stores. So they have these premium mixes, matcha latte, and a reusable cup, and all different sort of motifs. Look at I'll take anything that is green tea. Looks exclusive to our sets. And Sakura, you get your blossoms, but it's not. Instead, the product's going to be sold at souvenir shops. So it's not necessarily if you go to the Starbucks in Japan, but those places, I'm sure Narita, Haneda. Oh, and right there, it says it, are going to be those things that are here that you can kind of take and carry out with you for a grand total of 1,760 yen, or right now around $12.27.
That's not bad.
I still have like my tea container. I have my coffee one that I got that's Kyoto, Joel, that I like just break out on days where I'm kind of needing that little pick me up. I just open that, take it to school with me, then I put it back up in the cupboard so nobody messes with it.
Nice.
It's like I like it all though. I love it all. It's just great, my friends. It's great. Got.
I like the idea of how it's just not sold in the Starbucks. So if you want one, it's more attainable. What kind of
Joel? One of my favorite, one of my favorite things, Joel, is like going around hitting up coffee shops in Japan, especially Tokyo. So many places have their own roasters. So like what they have is made for them, like specifically them.
Nice.
And so you'll go in and I'll grab like coffee beans to bring back home with myself. And then same thing, grind them, make that coffee, take it with me. Again, just have that little bit of time to feel like you're there, even when you're not.
Yeah. Coffee shops are another. I like unique coffee shops. I feel like that's a good way when you travel. It's good. They're a good place to catch your breath, but also like that's where you really see the uniqueness of a town.
And the last number of episodes, Joel, this is our 6th episode, and the 5 previous episodes, including some others, I've been 0 for whatever the number is, maybe double digits for picking a winning song. David's won, Maurice has won, friend of the show Steffi has won, but last episode I finally took home my first win for picking the song that was voted for most by listeners of the show. So my pleading and begging came through for me that time. It may not even be the better song, but they just may have felt bad for me. But it's like, it's here. So we're going to do something a little different. As opposed to picking a song of the show, we're actually going to share some anime recommendations. I'm going to kick us off in that regard because there's been an anime that I've been watching recently, and it was one that I kind of put into my queue. I'm sure if you guys are the same way, I'll put something in and then I'll check it out later. I like to watch until the series is completely done so I can actually watch the whole thing. I don't like waiting, week by week to see it come out. But one is My Wife Has No Emotions. And it's one that, I was watching and my son comes in and shakes his head at me as he's walking by because he's like, what's my dad watching at this point in time? If you can get past the fact that this guy is marrying this AI robot that's just basically his there to cook for him. Like if you can kind of get past that initial like not believable kind of over the top thing, but if you can get past that, the relationship that this guy has with his family is like so wholesome, and just the attitude that they have towards life, and kind of like, one of those things, like one of the things like was his relationship and his dad, and he like kind of talks to his dad and he says, "I'm sorry, Dad, for not like giving you a typical marriage and giving you kids." And so for me, this is like, it goes beyond just like, this AI thing, but like in life in general. And, like, hey, you have family, you have kids, you don't have kids, you have fur babies, whatever it is that's there, but just being kind of accepting of each other. And the dad was like, stop, don't apologize. Don't, you think too much about what others think. He goes, if you're happy in your life, that's what I'm here. This is what we want. Like your mom and I, we want for you to be happy. If you're happy, we're happy. Like, who cares? Who cares what anyone else thinks? So those sort of like interactions and stuff just like really hit for me, and I appreciated it. So, like I said, if you can get past the fact that it's like, this AI robot that he's with, there's more to it than what you would think that's here.
Nice.
How about you, David? What do you want to share as far as like an anime recommendation?
So if I could recommend something, would most probably be, because I've been watching Ghost in the Shell, the standalone complex series recently, and just yesterday, no preparation for this movie at all, to be honest, for this podcast. I watched the Ghost in the Shell 1995 movie, and wow, it still holds up. I love it. So, I would say I recommend that. That would be my recommendation, just because of for 1995. Oof, they really do a lot of nice details in the movie. It's not the first time I watched it, but rewatching it, you kind of brings back that nostalgia, and you appreciate the the level of detail they put in, and no wonder it got the the big praise when it first came out, like in '95. So, because it still holds up to this till today, really. So really nice. I recommend it. So, so if you've never seen it, watch it.
It's good. It's good. I like Ghost in the Shell. No doubt about it, my friend. No doubt about it. Joel, how about you, my friend?
I would say Odd Taxi. It's came out in 2021. It's great. It's one of those kind of like small One Piece series, 13 episodes or so, something like that. But it follows this walrus who's a cab driver. So it's basically like a setting in a major city, but everyone's animals, and he's like depressed kind of. So he has a therapist, but he somehow just finds himself caught up in a scheme. Like there's a murderer going around town doing stuff. There's like gangland involvement, and it's all revolving around this walrus. They're great. Just watch it. I don't even want to give any of it away. If you're listening, you're probably like, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard," and I understand. But if you get to the season, it's first of all, it's great. It's one of the best I have ever seen. And one thing I will say is there's a hitman. Forget what animal he is, but he raps instead of talking normally. So he's rapping in Japanese, and it's great. Like I love it. It's really great. Doesn't talk normally at all. Just rapping while fighting with a sword and all kinds of stuff. But seriously, they made a movie after the series, but the series is great, and it's an easy watch. Great theme. The theme song too is crazy. It's really good.
I would definitely put on the list to watch. I'll watch it most probably because I've got a public holiday tomorrow. So,
nice.
Yeah, so I might put that on.
yeah, it's good.
David, are you going to be grabbing the new Call of Duty game?
I would believe so. Yes.
If you do, talk to me, my friend, because I'm going to make my own public holiday for that. when that comes out. So, but Joel, my sister and I, that's one of our things that we've done for, she's going to be 42. We've been doing that for I don't know how many years. Is like the game comes out, we'll take our days off, spend the weekend playing games and pretending we're not in our 40s anymore. But it's always a good time. Always a good time.
I'm gonna sound like a baby right now. I hate first person shooters because I suck at them. So whenever people bring them up, I'm like, man, that games are losers. Because I just can't.
Thanks for being honest.
Ever since Halo, like even before that GoldenEye, like I've never been good at first person shooters. And it's a different skill, like reaction time, being able to like kind of understand maps. I love gaming though. Like I love third person games, adventure games, fighting games. I'm worthless at first person shooters. So everyone's like, oh man, dude, Call of Duty, man, dude, Halo coming out. I don't care if it's a BioShock, any first person game, Cyberpunk. I'm like, I just don't. Damn it. But I understand it. They're really engaging.
It is. Man, I wish they could make Cyberpunk where you could just watch the movie, my friend, because that game.
Oh my god!
If you could just watch it as the Edge Runner anime was
great.
Like makes you cry. It's fantastic. But if someone could put that game as just this, series that's just an ongoing series where you could watch, it go through, it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
So good. But yeah, no, that's why we have a ton of choices in what we do to geek out with. So it's good. I'm going to put all of those in, and we'll vote on them, see what you like. I don't see myself coming out on top on this one, but you two gentlemen can duke it out on top. Joel, I truly, man, I know we've been trying to get together. I love connecting with you. Like you said before, you can message people, but actually sitting down and talking with someone is nice. Like seeing people face to face and getting that chance to connect, even if it's for a little bit. I greatly appreciate, and I love that David and you get to meet. And Maurice, he's going to be back on the show, but he's doing what I wish I could do. And he'll be back. He'll be back. He's got some, his own things that he's going to be doing. But thank you all. We'll have to have you back on again, Joel, where all four of us can be on at some point in time.
Sure.
But for everyone else, my friends, please. One last time, Bella Via, reach out, whoever you are, whatever corporate company owns this, don't miss out on your opportunity, whatever AI scan this, because if you don't come through, I got someone, Kirkland's is in the back corner ready to come out, so don't miss out. For us on that opportunity, because David, Joel, Maurice, and we need our next trip to Japan taken care of.
Yeah, so, I'll also do an ad read in an Australian accent.
Yeah.
David, we should just record that to begin with, and we'll just start throwing these things in. I do have, one thing too. I was going to start reading some reviews of the show, and I thought. That might be a nice add-on to is just kind of start reading, reviews of people that have taken the time to actually fill them in. So I think we're going to be adding that in. Besides trying to get a sponsor, just have that going on. So thank you both for hopping on. Thank you for setting aside from your time. Joel, I hope those dishes aren't too bad when you get back up there to try to take care of them. Tell your wife thank you so much from me. And Joel, I know we'll meet at some point in Japan because I'm going to be living there. David has, I know he knows that he has an open invite when I'm there. It's here, but I actually want to make it out to one of your, one of the things that you set up and actually be there, when you're having people come on, talk, and just be able to meet in that way, shape, and form. So
absolutely.
3 good people. Can't go wrong with that. So for everyone else, thank you for joining us for our Good Times episode. On behalf of Lost Without Japan and the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. And we look forward to having you on board again for our next regularly scheduled episode as we continue to discuss Japan, travel, culture, and those lost without moments. To everyone out there, Oginki Day. Stay well, my friends.